Welcome back to the Podcast De Portugal. Portugal are now in the quarterfinals.
Let's go.
Let's
6-1
go.
Yeah.
6-1. That was a brilliant game. Absolutely. 6 goals and...
7 goals.
Yeah, well, 6 goals for Portugal. Didn't expect Portugal to get such a big win over Switzerland. Switzerland were looking, decent in the group stages. They didn't get a win over Brazil, but,
Yeah, no, pretty surprising. I think it's fair to say. No one was expecting that absolute thrashing.
No,
Switzerland are quite good. But
yeah.
Portugal showed their worth.
I actually got way better. I was thinking for the whole of the match we've watched so far, all the group stage, they weren't actually that good.
No,
they really weren't that good at all.
No,
but something just clicked yesterday, I think, and they were really, really good. Like one of the best performances we've seen.
Yeah, because Morocco had played earlier that day, and I was watching Morocco thinking Morocco haven't lost a game yet, and they just beat Spain. It's gonna be a very hard game for Portugal.
I was thinking of Morocco. I think they were really good in the group stage, but yesterday, I think for the next round they're not going to go any further.
But they beat Spain, bro. Spain are good. It's
but
not
they
like
didn't try anything. They beat them on penalties because they had one attack for the whole game.
You say Spain didn't try?
No, Morocco didn't try. Really?
Yeah, they beat them.
No, I'm saying though, they didn't really try and do anything. They didn't try and win the game in the game. Throughout the whole game, they had 2 chances. They just sat back and tried to get them on the counter the whole time.
I get what you mean. I see that as a positive though. They didn't look like they were trying, even though they probably were. I think that they still beat Spain off of what looked like a lacklustre performance. I feel like if they actually if they grouped together and watched that game thinking they could do more, which they will.
I think Morocco should be really happy with how far they've come in the competition.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
They must have been crapping it when they realised they got Spain in the round of 16.
Yeah, I mean no one would have thought that they would have got into the next round with in front of Belgium. No one would have thought them beating Belgium. I think like you said, Isaac, this might be where they get out because Portugal, looking really, really good. Especially with Gonçalo Ramos.
Yeah. Also, just to go back for a second, I don't know if you guys watched the Morocco game, but their players were on their last legs. They in the extra time and everything, all of their players were going down injured. Amrabat was in his post match press conference was saying he had to get injections to be able to play the game and stuff like that. So he couldn't they're not fit enough to play. Both of their centre backs got injured in the game. One of them went off in actual time of Roman side. He had to get his leg strapped. It was basically on one leg. It was hopping around the fence the whole game. So I think next round is destined. It's going to be quite an easy game. I think next round. I think people will be surprised about it, but I think Portugal will get through. Yeah, I think Portugal.
Do you think Portugal now are serious contenders to win it after that game?
I don't think you get ahead of yourself like that. No, I think still it's not. Their team isn't good enough at all.
I don't think they beat. If we assume that either Argentina or Brazil go to the finals, and then not only that, they would have to face England or France.
Yeah.
Which they're not beating either of France or us.
Well, so if they get to the semi-finals, they'll be England, France, or who's the other people in that area? Is it Brazil?
I think Portugal will versus England or France in the
semis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it's quarterfinals, isn't it? Oh, that's stupid. But no, I don't. Yeah, I think whoever goes through England and France will go through to the final. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
It's quite dead set.
I agree.
Yeah. I hope not though.
How are we feeling about Portugal so far in this tournament? I mean, they were very disappointing against South Korea. I mean, they didn't go full strength, but
I think they just. I think they were just how do I explain this? They're probably just easing their way into it. I don't think they overly. Their group stage was very easy to get through. I think most people knew that they were going to top it. I don't think they really wanted to go all out in the group stage. Really, they didn't need to.
They had no reason to win the South Korea game.
Rotherhove looked good. I mean, if you look at every other team, every other team's had a bad result. They've all lost to. Look at France. They lost to Tunisia.
Yeah.
Everyone else has lost, and they haven't lost yet, have they?
I think it was just nothing special. They hadn't done anything special so far. They'd done what they needed to do, and they played easy against some of the teams, but got through on top of their group. I think yesterday said a lot about what they're going to be like for the rest of the tournament if they're going to be in it for much longer. They really picked it up a notch. Some of their players come in, changes from big speaking point, Ronaldo being benched. I think little things like that have really brought out the best in that Portugal team.
Yeah, Sally.
Yeah. I mean, I do think. Listen, I don't think we can say that they. I mean, drop Ronaldo because of poor performances. I think he just played okay. I mean, João Felix died, and he hasn't. It's not like he's been playing unbelievable either. Like it's not. I don't like. They said it was because he had a problem being subbed off in the Korea game. Was it the Korea game?
I think so.
And I think it's coincidental that they played very good this time, and Ronaldo was benched because I mean, like João Felix hasn't played better than Ronaldo this World Cup, but they started him.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So I think there might be a correlation. We'll see, but I think he starts next game.
But it's the big thing that João Felix is like a willing runner, but Ronaldo literally doesn't run. Like,
no, but I mean, I don't know what you expect from 37.
But not a lot. But it's not what we expect from him. It's just the fact that obviously he's not going to run loads because he's like nearly 40, but you're going to want to pick players that will run.
Yeah.
Because you're in the World Cup.
Like we always have like opposing views about it. I think when Ronaldo's not a team, like you've seen it for Man United and you've seen it definitely yesterday. You have more of like a forward line, whereas when Ronaldo's playing, you don't really have that sort of like connection between the line. Like yesterday, there was players making runs non-stop, and I get like it might have been different because Switzerland's defence isn't very good, but he's played against many like not very good defences. Like South Korea's not a very good defence. Ghana don't really have a very good defence.
So Switzerland's got a better defence than them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I think it shows that there's a difference in different people playing. Like there was a lot more fluid movement in the front line because there was more players willing to drop back and then go forward and everything.
Well.
Like João Felix a lot of times was playing left back, so then Guerrero could get out of the pitch, and Guerrero had a really good game.
Yeah.
Like the fullbacks were much better. I think Cancelo was unlucky not to play that game because I think a lot of the big thing for him was that he couldn't get up as much as he'd normally like to, and that's why they dropped him and brought in Dalot and Guerrero. So I think it creates better forward line. Everyone moves around. It just makes it. There's more chances. There's way more chances in last night's game than they have throughout the whole group stage.
Yeah, yeah, there was. To be fair, but I do feel like, I get what you mean. I just don't think that starting Ronaldo over like maybe like a João Felix or something is going to make them. Is going to turn that 6-1 result to even a close game. I think even if you played Ronaldo in that over, like I said, João, maybe not Ramos because I can't say sub him off, he's got a hat trick, but to start Ronaldo over like João Felix, like I said, I don't think that changes the result of the game.
No, I think it does.
I think they're very different players.
A lot more happens off the ball when Ronaldo's not on the pitch because everyone's running. It's like more of a unit rather than him just walking about offside all the time and waiting for the ball to come to him.
Yeah.
And even when he came on, the way they played was completely different when he came on because he was just stood on the defensive line the whole time, whereas players like Ramos and Felix didn't. Did they score?
Rafael Leao scored.
But
that was just a wonder goal.
But that was a mental goal. Like Leao took it down the left and then cut in and crossed over the pitch. It's not like when
you sub Ronaldo off, they suddenly struggled to attack and score.
Well, no, but they did a little bit. Like they conceded and scored.
Watching Ronaldo play this tournament, I think you could say that his mindset hasn't been completely there. I don't think there's so much around him at the moment. Like watching him in the first game, you could tell that he was, not completely in it. The second game he was a lot better. He didn't get a goal, but he seemed a lot better, a lot sharper. Yeah, and then yesterday's game, yes, he came on, but there was a couple of times where he was losing the ball and in situations.
And he scored, but he's offside.
Yeah, offside. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Man United fan, so I was going to bring that into it a little bit. It's my whole argument for Man United playing Ronaldo. You're just a completely different team when you don't have someone who needs to get the ball all the time up front. Whereas if you have like 3 or 4 players who will make runs up and can take the ball and then create chances with it, rather than having one man who you always need to give the ball to, especially when that one man won't move because he's 38 years old, then I think it just makes you a much better team.
Yeah, totally agreed.
Yeah.
Have we swayed you?
Yeah, to some extent. I would say that they were much more fluid. I feel like the goal Pepe scored, for example, was a cross, and it's like even though it's completely different, like as a defender and things, but like Ronaldo could get to that, and those sort of I feel like he might bring less of a front line. But he would bring areas where you could then, expand, right? So like you could bring more crosses in when you have Ronaldo, and you could start playing wider ball and then whipping it in.
Yeah, but then you're more reliant on like the crossing. Do you know what I mean?
Rather than relying on any sort of.
No, but rather than scoring like any sort of goal and like playing a sort of like pressing, high press football, high intensity, you'll have to slow it all down. Maybe park the bus, hit him on the break, and then cross or whatever.
Yeah.
It just changes the whole thing with Ronaldo on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's argument is they wouldn't have won without Ronaldo. I think if they still had Ronaldo on the pitch, they still would have won that game. Like if Switzerland weren't good,
but the performance wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah, and I think it demonstrates more than anything the fact that Pepe did score a really good header. They don't need Ronaldo to put that into the squad.
Well, do you think they start him next game?
I don't think they do. I think why would they?
That's what I was just about to say. Should they start Ramos over Ronaldo next game as well?
I think you have to start Ramos over Ronaldo. I don't think that's much of a debate, but it's more like you were saying Felix.
I think you play Ronaldo over Felix. I mean, what's Felix like? If we're going to make the argument, I guess it's a completely different player. I get what you mean.
How can we incorporate? How can Santos incorporate both Ramos and Ronaldo into that team though?
Well, do what they did last time, which is play Ronaldo over Felix. They've had two up front last game, no?
No, they don't. Felix basically played as a left winger, left winger, and then was swapped with Guerrero every time.
What was the formation they played?
It wasn't really any sort of formation.
They're not going to change the formation now as a quarter-final.
Fluid.
No, but I guess.
I think now you're heavily relying on form in the World Cup, so I don't know why you change any of the. If there's players who are playing well, you keep them, and if the players who aren't playing well, you don't play them. And if you have Ronaldo on the bench, it's not like you can't bring him on the pitch. If you need something special, Ronaldo's obviously that man. You can chuck him on the pitch.
Yeah.
So I think
he's just going to be a bench warmer now for the entire tournament.
Do you think level of respect comes into it at all?
Not in terms of trying to win a World Cup.
No. So. Respect has been come into it because he's played every single group stage game. That based on form.
Is that respect?
If it wasn't Ronaldo, if his name wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo, he wouldn't play them 3 games.
He's the captain of
Portugal.
Portugal.
Be in the squad.
Why wouldn't he have played?
Because his form this season.
He hasn't
it's just the fact it's Ronaldo that he's been played in them first 3 games. But now they know they're better without him, just like Man United.
Like Anthony Martial's been better than him. If Anthony Martial was Portuguese, he wouldn't be anywhere near the squad.
Yeah, it is a good point. Reality's sort of hit now.
I just don't think that. Like I said, like I think I don't think they look at the club performance as much as. Like a lot really, because like obviously they would, but like obviously like I hate to talk about England, but Maguire's never played well for Man United.
No.
And he's always been the number 1 defender for England.
He has played well for Man United.
Obviously, there's not a drastic, drop off in Ronaldo's club performance as there is a national performance like Maguire's. But I think that they do take into account how well they play for Portugal rather than the club.
But I don't think he's played that well for Portugal either, though. And if you're talking about how he's played for Portugal, I think the main place they base it off would be the group stage matches where he scored 1 goal and had the lowest conversion rate in the whole tournament.
And if you put it this way as well, with Maguire in England, there was a lot of like speculation whether he'd start for our like first couple group stage games. And if he did and played badly, then he'd be like the first player out of the team sheet, I think. But the fact that he's gone in and played well, he's obviously going to keep his place, but Ronaldo's gone in and played bad, so he's obviously going to get subbed out. If he went in and played well, I'm sure he'd still be in the team, but he hasn't. So.
Yeah. Something else about Santos, I want Rafael Leao to start next game. They've been bringing him on as a sub. I think he's such a talent. He needs to be started. Hasn't he scored in every game?
No.
Apart from
he played poorly when he was subbed.
I think he's on 2 or 3 goals maybe. There was one game where Uruguay he didn't score.
No,
he's on at least
I think
2.
One of the games he got subbed on, he didn't look very good.
I think he's a very one-dimensional player in a way. He likes to take it down the left, cut in, play it. And I think especially maybe he has more of a chance now. I think without I hate to bring it up again, but without Ronaldo in the team, because you're more able to cut in and take it across goal if you don't have Ronaldo, whereas you feel more obliged to cross it into Ronaldo in the box. So I think with Leao now, if he's playing next game, I think he would have a good game, I reckon.
Do you think Santos needs to make many changes to the team for the next game?
No, just keep it the same.
Keep it the same.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't say you'll change it up for Leao and not change it up for Ronaldo.
No, exactly. You keep it the exact same every single player. You don't even put Cancelo in.
I was going to say, do you think so? Not even Cancelo.
No, you keep him out.
I don't think, why would you really? Like Guerrero got 2 assists and a goal.
And to be fair, Dalot was quite good.
I'm saying it. He's good. He's really good. I really rate Dalot a lot. But like, he wasn't like a standout player yesterday. But like, it's hard to be a standout player in a 6-1 win where someone gets a hat trick and the opposite player gets 2 assists and a goal.
I just don't think you make any changes whatsoever. Especially it's a quarter final. You don't want to fuck about in the quarter final.
Why would you? And it's not that they need to really. Like if you're against Morocco, there's not really any need for any tactical change.
I mean, no, actually, the fact it is against Morocco, that might be a reason for maybe 1 or 2 changes. Because I mean, obviously, no disrespect to Morocco, but it's not like coming against like Argentina. Do you know what I mean?
Based on what though? Like Morocco played. They've
just the players that have.
Morocco,
yes, but in terms of talent, I understand. But like in terms of how they played, they haven't lost. They've won 2 games, drawn 1, and then just beat Spain.
I think they're out of their depth now, though. I think it's like there's a big dip in quality between like France, England, and then Morocco.
I understand those teams,
quality.
But do you think there's a big dip off between Spain and Portugal before before we saw?
You're going to get the thing is you're going to get freak results, and I think that Morocco game was a bit of a freak result.
Against Spain? I don't think it's freak.
Watching the actual game, they weren't very good. I will say they weren't. It's unbelievable. They won and they went through. They had no chances on goal. They just sat back, defended. Their defenders were in bits by the end of it. Amrabat had an unbelievable game, but the only reason he played was because he had to get injections. 2 of their players have gone off injured with like bad injuries. I think they're going to have to start their 3rd and 4th choice centre backs or start Roman Saiz on one leg. So I think it's just I think now it is if they are going to rest players, because it's like a 3-day layover between each game now. It's like fucking fast. So they're going to have to create some sort of leeway between each player to give them a rest.
I think just overlooking, because you look at their team and you think that they haven't got any like that one player to change it around.
Yeah.
I think Morocco. Like,
that's exactly.
I think we're underreacting to the Spain performance. Like you said, they didn't look great, but they won. They beat Spain.
Yeah, no, but it's not convincing. That's what we're on about Portugal in the group stages. They weren't convincing victories. Like it was one of the like worst performances for a winning team I've seen so far in this World Cup.
And you're like every World Cup, you're going to get one team that sort of gets to the quarterfinals, and they're sort of here like, what am I doing? Why am I in the quarterfinals? Do you know what I mean? That's Morocco. So they're not going to get any further.
Yeah, unless they're going to do like.
I've got Portugal winning that game, but I just feel like I don't think it's going to be a closer game than people are.
To be fair, nobody thought that Portugal-Switzerland was going to be as...
Right. And if you said before Spain-Morocco, who would you have said?
I would have said Morocco.
I would have said Spain.
I would have said Spain.
I put a bet on Morocco to win, so...
No, fair enough.
Does that mean you actually wanted it, or was it just because you got...
I want Morocco to win. It's more... Did I think it was going to win? I thought, they could win, because Spain didn't actually look that good.
Yeah, I don't think Spain have looked amazing. They've got the 7-0.
Yeah, which was probably the best performance.
Yeah.
No, maybe not.
But the other games, I don't think they've looked amazing. They lost to Japan.
And they drew against Germany, and Germany weren't very good at all. So
no.
And they've had some players who've come out and played well. Like Morata's been quite good off the bench every time, but he's not a good enough player to really make a difference in the knockout stages.
Exactly. And they're playing Asensio up front. He's not even a striker.
Yeah, and Ferran
He's
Torres.
A winger. Yeah.
And Ferran Torres only playing because Luis Enrique's daughter is his wife or something.
And they've got like teenagers in midfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, you look at Bellingham; he's like running the show for England, but that's because he's next to like
Henderson.
more. Yeah. Like obviously they've got Busquets as well, but he's like right at the end of his career.
Yeah.
So it's sort of
I think it's the same, pretty much the same as the England team. I think you've got some youngsters in the middle with Henderson running, and you've got Spain. You've got.
But there's much more influential players.
Youngsters with Busquets playing, and Busquets is better than Henderson is. So
I think player for player, though, basically every player in the England team is much better than the Spain squad.
Yes.
So I think that's why the drop off in quality is different. We can't compare Morocco beating Spain to Morocco coming against Portugal who just won 6-1. And
Spain have no amazing talent up front. I wouldn't say they had.
Who? Sorry.
They don't have any amazing talent up front. That's their main go-to for a.
Did they have more talent than Morocco?
I don't know, but that's why Morocco didn't attack.
Wait, no. Did they have more talent than Morocco?
Yeah,
I think.
Right. So if there's but they still lost. Is my point. So when you said if you look, your point was, you look at Morocco and they don't have that one player, but Spain have more talent than Morocco and they still lost.
But Spain don't have that one player either. I think it was showing like when we were saying both attacks they don't have like any sort of really good players. It was a 0-0. It was a 0-0 draw and they won on.
And you're going to get
Portugal's one player.
Well, look, USA.
Gonzalo Ramos, who just scored a hat trick, or
do you think he's the one player?
Rafael Leao, who scored 3 goals.
Well,
there's no player in the Morocco teams who's. Has there been any player in Morocco teams who's got over 3 goals?
No, I don't think so.
Right, so the actual game, right, was 0-0.
Yeah.
USA drew to England 0-0.
Yeah.
And USA have gone out to Netherlands comfortably.
Like, yeah, but USA look good though. It's not like we played.
No, so it's the same thing though. We're saying that Portugal are gonna easily beat Morocco. I think it's safe, so we all think that. And you're saying they won't because they beat Spain, but they beat them on pens. The actual after 90 minutes was 0-0. After 90 minutes, the USA England score was 0-0.
Yeah.
And then USA got easily knocked out by Netherlands. So I don't think.
I think when it comes to the knockout stage, there's a different class, and Spain didn't step up for it in the knockout stages. I get that, but there's not. They weren't actually that good of a team. I remember we were talking about it before when we were on about what Portugal's quarterfinals would be, and it was either we were going about like Spain or Germany. I was saying I could easily beat both of them because I'm not convinced by either of them. And obviously I'm not to blow toot my own horn, but I was right.
Yeah, we were talking about it being Spain, Germany or Belgium, and it ended up being neither of them.
Yeah.
But no, your point on USA drew to England, that I don't think you can say the same, because England, you can say that England wanted to win that game, but they didn't need to win that game. They come off a 6-2 against Iran, whereas Spain needed to win. If they lost, they're out. It's different circumstances. A second game.
No, but I was just talking about the result.
No, I get what you mean, but I think it's different to say that that was a freak performance against Spain, but it wasn't for USA.
I think every World Cup game you're going to go into it with the same mentality. Every game.
I don't think you go into a group stage of round 2.
I think you do.
No,
then you do a knockout at all.
I think you
no,
do.
I don't think so, because you see with teams like Brazil who didn't really show much
well at all in the groups.
Yeah, in the groups, and then in the knockout they turned up and
that's because they played against South Korea.
Yeah, do you think that's? Do you not think?
Yeah, but they lost to Cameroon.
We've seen. Yeah, exactly.
So are you saying that you don't think Portugal will beat Morocco?
No, I think Portugal beat Morocco.
Same.
What, comfortably?
No. Not comfortably.
No, I don't
you don't.
think so either. No, I don't think you take round. I don't think you take round of 16 onwards as less the same as you would a group stage game. We can see it in Brazil, they stepped it up. Portugal stepped it up. If you could say that England's sort of stepped up ish, but
if you don't step up in the knockout stages,
you have to. You can't.
No, but this is the thing: is that now quarter final is a different level.
Exactly right. So Spain would have stepped it up, and they lost.
But I think there's some teams who can consistently step it up.
Morocco and Spain would have both stepped up for the group stage round of 16, and Spain lost. So to say it was a freak performance, I just disagree. I think they tried as hard as they can. They lost.
I think my argument would be that there's some teams who can step it up, and I think Morocco would have stepped it up the most they possibly could have in that round of 16 game to get through, because they weren't even aiming to get to the round of 16. They're going to try as hard as they can in that match. To them, that was like their final. I think now there's going to be some players who are dead, just can't play.
Now reality is going to hit, and they're going to lose.
Like Morocco can't constantly step it up and go to a next level every round. They're not going to be able to do that, whereas Portugal can do that. Not as much as other teams like England, France, Brazil. That's why they're not going to win it.
Yeah.
It's just there's certain levels to it. And Morocco have stepped up now, and they've stepped up to the most they can, and they look in bits, and they played the best they can, just defending until they get to penalties and then winning on penalties.
Yeah.
It was a really good game for them, and that was their final. But I think now they're done.
And like you were saying as well, their defenders are like Saiss. You said he's like done for now. The squad depth is like their starting 11 is nowhere near you could even say Portugal's bench.
Yeah. No,
the
I
squad
agree.
depth comes into it a lot.
Again, you could say what Moroccan player would start for Spain?
We're not arguing that, are we?
No, but you said their players wouldn't make Portugal's bench. But my point is, I disagree that Spain not only have the talent to beat Morocco, but didn't step up because it's a round of 16. They had to win that game. They would have stepped up like Morocco. Every game now is a must-win. It is essentially like the finals. Regardless, if you lose, you're out. If you win, you win. So I think to sit here and say that Morocco would have tried their hardest, but Spain wouldn't have.
We never. Who said that?
No, he made the argument that Morocco, this is like their finals. They would have tried the hardest, implying that Spain wouldn't have tried as hard.
No, I would say for Spain, it's not their big final. It's like Spain
wouldn't have.
No, but Spain would want to get to the round of 16. That would be the least they get. So when they get to the round of 16, they don't think of it like, oh, okay, we've done so well so far. We need to play this game unbelievably well. No, you've been good so far. You need to get to the next round, and then the next round will be bigger games. They get bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's a bigger game for Morocco than Spain.
Yeah, Morocco.
That's what Isaac is saying.
Of course, but I think that Spain are far too. Spain know what they're doing. I think that it would be silly for them as a team, as an organisation, to sit here and go that this game is like you take that game as seriously as you would the finals.
Yeah, I'm not
Spain,
arguing
it's
that.
not like Spain haven't been in any major tournaments anymore. They know what they're doing. And but just exactly right. And I get what you mean by it's a big game for Morocco. I think it's also I think it's a very big. I don't know how to explain judgment to sit here and say that Spain wouldn't have taken this game as seriously as they would further in the tournament because they're professionals. They know what they're doing. Spain have been here before.
Yeah,
I think you subconsciously would though. I don't think they've gone out doing it. I think if you're thinking about it, like if you go into a semi-final match, you're going to subconsciously want it more. Whereas if you go to a round of 16 game against Morocco, who are ranked like 15 below you, you're not going to go into it as hard as you know if you were going into a game against Portugal in the quarterfinals.
That's just true.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Spain probably underestimated Morocco?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, I think they didn't go into it going like, this will be an easy game for us. Like I'm not saying like Portugal go into the next game and play their B team and like rest players for the next round. Like I'm not saying it's like a free pass. I'm just saying
I agree.
Next game if they're gonna try something, maybe do it. Like it wouldn't be that bad if you put Leao started instead of Felix because it's not detrimental to your team so much. You should be winning that game anyway.
I get what you mean, but at some point, like as soon as like the first half goes, you're like, okay, we need to at half time, we need to turn it up now. It's 0-0 against Morocco. 9 minutes goes, extra time. Okay, we need to turn it up now. Second half of extra time, we need to turn it up now. Penalties. At what point in the game do you then start trying? Then.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying they weren't trying.
They had 2 hours of football and then penalties. Like, at what time do you beat Morocco?
Look, to simply put it right, I reckon Morocco have done very well. They've tried, obviously, their hardest. They've done well to get to the quarter-final. They did brilliantly to beat Spain. But now, their squad depth isn't good enough to make the changes that they might need to with fatigued players. Their players are good, but they're not on the same level as the likes of France and Brazil. So they're going to feel fatigued. So whether you're going to bring in a worse player off the bench to start over your fatigued player, either way, they're going to be playing worse each player, so the whole performance is going to be worse against Portugal.
And you have to look.
Portugal have got Ronaldo that they can play, which obviously we've had a debate about Ronaldo and whether he should play. He shouldn't. But this is just an example that Portugal could play Ronaldo, one of the best players ever, but then Morocco haven't really got anyone to bring on. So reality is going to hit, and they're going to lose comfortably.
We were talking about teams stepping up. I think people will underrate how much Portugal has stepped up because getting a 6-1 win over Switzerland. Switzerland, arguably a really good team. They knocked out France in the Euros.
On
a penalty shootout. I don't know what happened with Switzerland yesterday. Jan Sommer was supposed to be one of the best keepers.
I don't think he had a chance with any of the goals.
I think Portugal just made it look
easy.
I don't think it was it was obviously you could when a team loses you can point out things they could have done better. But I think as a whole, I think Portugal just made them look bad.
I think it was a clear display of just like a difference in class. Like every goal was just like one-on-one a player would beat their opposite number and go for like Pepe's goal. He's gone over both of the centre backs to score it, and even like Gonzalo Ramos' second goal where Delort was one-on-one with the left back, and it's just a show of class. You can't compete against a team who can one-on-one beat you man for man if they're going to show up like that.
And even for Granit Xhaka he was invisible that game. I don't even remember seeing him on the TV yesterday. The only player who was arguably good for Switzerland was Mbolo. He's a talented player. So I agree. And Portugal, they've got the bench as well.
I was just about to say, I think it's promising for them now. Because you say like if they're bringing players on the bench, they're bringing on like João Cancelo, Ronaldo, and Rafael Leao. It's just insane. You can't do that.
But I think again, if we can't just look at it as players on like what they look like on paper, because we knew all this beforehand. We knew that they had a very talented team. But if we go for talent, then you like, if you know what I mean, like we can make predictions all the way to the final then, but we can't do that. We can't just look at the names on paper and go, they must win. Let me clear this up. I think Portugal win that game. I just don't think it's going to be as convincing as Switzerland. Or I think it's going to be a close game.
It's going to be a 6-1.
No, I think it's going to be a close game in general.
I think it'll be like a 2-3-0 comfortable.
I think it'll be like they'll score like a couple goals, and they'll score like one goal in the first half, and then it'll be quite easy sailing from then on. Like I think Morocco will get to a point and then just be like, okay, we've made it this far. Let's just not get beaten by too much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So either way, we all think Portugal get to the semis.
Yeah.
Once they get to the semis, get knocked out, I think we all...
Yeah,
quite
I think
unless they
unbelievable. Unless they get like another 6-1 next game, I think it's not
Even
debatable.
If they do that,
that's what I'm saying. I think it's debatable.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
at most.
They're exceeding our expectations because we all said quarterfinals at the very first episode.
Yeah, we did.
I think that it's a little bit due to their easier run of games in the knockout. Because when we were talking about it before, we expected their round of 16 game to be quite nice because obviously it's going to face a second seed in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they got to the quarters, we were looking at Belgium, Spain, Germany.
Yeah.
So I think they've come out of it quite nicely there.
Yeah.
Whether your options are Morocco or Switzerland.
That's typically how it works, right? You win your group stage, you come against an easier opponent. It's not so. I think most of these teams like Portugal and Brazil and England and everyone would face.
Yeah, but when you get to the quarter final, of them facing first seed teams or second seed teams who just beat a first seed team.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, it's been a good tournament. I think it's safe to say so far.
Yeah, it's been a really entertaining tournament.
Full of upsets.
Yeah, a couple 0-0s to start off with, but it's so many good games though. You know, you've got the
loads of good results. It's mental.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's due to like a lot of players being injured and stuff like that because it's in the middle of the season, but it's completely different. Loads of games. Did any of you watch the Brazil Cameroon game where Abu Bakar scored the last minute and took his top off because he knew he wasn't going to play again? Yeah. It's mental.
I think
lots
it's the most
of things
entertaining
like
World Cup I've watched. I guess people don't remember I guess they remember bits of 2018, not really 2014, but I remember those last two World Cups and I remember having as much fun as I do now.
Then everyone was doubting this one as well.
Exactly. That's part of it as well.
Yeah.
I think I naturally doubted it. I don't think I spoke about how bad it was going to be or whatever. I thought it was going to be a good World Cup. I think naturally, because it's in the winter and it's not summer vibes and things like that, then you just don't. And also the music for it, literally everything just was rubbish. Everyone was getting injured. You had Lil Baby as there's music. You don't have Shakira.
But this is where it comes down to the actual football.
Yeah,
the actual football.
Which has been amazing.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Arguably better than the 2018. World Cup already, I think.
Oh, yeah.
There's more teams who look like they're going to win. You don't know now.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. Them having more teams who look like they're going to win.
Yeah.
Like last year, arguably only looked like France.
I was going to say, from the group stage, it was just like France won out.
Those have all been the better games though. The games where you thought it was going to be easy sailing was just not.
Yeah. I can't remember many of the upsets in the 2018 one, to be honest.
Russia knocking out Spain was an upset.
Yeah, and Germany going out. But that's exactly what's happened so far. So it literally is exactly what's happened so far. But then you've also had Saudi Arabia beating Argentina,
Belgium out.
Yeah, that's
Germany
crazy.
Out. Germany out for a second time in a row. That's absolutely mental.
I said it. They weren't that good. I was never really convinced. The best players like Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think this World Cup has been really. I think personally for me it's helped a lot as well because being in uni, I've had loads of time to watch all the games. I think I've watched every game apart from 2.
I'm the exact same right now. On a Tuesday, I think I missed it, and then from a Wednesday to the next Monday, I was sat watching all the games. It's been amazing, to sit there all day and go from 10 till 2 to 4 to 7.
When it was the 10 till 10 games, I was a little fatty, just sat everyone in my flat hated me because I just sat in the front room.
And also our lessons just kept getting cancelled.
The girls would be coming in and be like, I want to watch some sex education or something. I was like, mate, the football's on, get out.
No one can enjoy the World Cup. It's the World Cup at the end of the day. I think people who said, I'm going to boycott the World Cup, a lot of them will probably be watching it.
I think that's the whole point. But me personally, I don't agree with it being Qatar or anything like that. But I'm still going to watch it. It's football at the end of the day. I'm not going to make a stand for myself and be I'm not going to watch it. Wales are in the World Cup. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, but.
Final predictions for the Portugal-Morocco game? Sonny, you go first.
I reckon it's going to be a 1-0 Portugal.
Ooh. Isaac?
I think it'll be
late as well.
I think it'll be a 3-0 Portugal. I think they'll score twice in the first half and then just lay off a bit.
1-0 Portugal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco win. That's all I'm saying.
No?
Really?
Yeah, I just wouldn't.
9-0. I reckon 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
I agree, 2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
I also just want to shout out before we move on to anything else. I'm working alongside my friend. He is a designer. His Instagram name is XClickQuest, and basically XClickQuest, he does videos, he does designs. Just go and check him out. He's on Instagram now. On his bio, broadcasting and media production company. There's lots of different photographs. He does a lot of design, and he'll be helping us with our Twitter. He'll be making us a logo and a Twitter banner. So I'm joined by Charu, who is a master's student for the sports journalism course. He's also been covering Portugal. Welcome on, Charu, and how are you doing? And tell us a bit about yourself and what you've been doing for Portugal so far.
So I've been to be honest, I've been following this team for like the past decade. I've been a big fan of this team myself. It's my honor to cover this team. I'm getting a chance to cover this team from my university. I'm currently doing masters, so I've each and every student from the course has got one team to cover this World Cup. So I've luckily got Portugal. I'll say they're doing great right now as a team. So yeah.
I think I agree with you that it's been very lucky to have Portugal. I mean, the standout teams. They've had a good World Cup run. What do you think about their World Cup run so far?
So initially before the World Cup started, so I personally thought they would not go past like the round of 16 stage, or I would say a bold statement I would make that I didn't think that they will make past the group stages this time, because looking at their performance in the last Euro and looking at the current manager, surprisingly, Santos' tactics are working great so far, and collectively as a group or as a unit, they're performing very well on the big stage right now. Bernardo Silva, Diogo Dalot, surprisingly, Cancelo hasn't been so much, like he hasn't made any impact till now. But yeah, some of the unexpected stars are coming out of the team right now. So yeah, we are like right now. I'm also very optimistic about the final appearance, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned about the group. I think
yeah,
Portugal playing as a group has been something they've clearly struggled with in the past, because they've always had class players, but they've always underperformed in the World Cup, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've been looking at their performances in the past, looking at the quality of players they have had, like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Cristiano Ronaldo, I would say Renato Sanchez, and all those players. But in the past, we have seen them struggling. Like the most famous pair from Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo, were not. They were not having a chemistry at all in playing for national team. But yeah, in this World Cup, surprisingly or unexpectedly, Bruno is making a whole lot of impact and is leading the team. I guess he has been leading the team forward this World Cup. He has been in the charge of the team so far. So yeah, I don't know how this transition, how Santos has pulled off this transition, but yeah, it seems good it feels good to see them playing like that. Yeah.
Obviously you mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo, and obviously when covering Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo is always the number one topic. Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo has been a slight problem for this team? I mean, his mentality, would you argue that it hasn't been completely in the World Cup, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean I would like to mention his his controversies before the World Cup, or before that, in the if we could go in like past 6 months or a year, he has been through a lot, and it's understandable that a player goes through that. But yeah, his recent behaviors, I would say, has been, I don't know, a little bit controversial. They are debatable whether the behavior is the right thing to do or no. But yeah, everybody obviously expects that a player like Cristiano Ronaldo would obviously have a big impact or would be the main man of the team. But yeah, in the group stage, we have seen that in the group stage and in the club football this year also that he has not been the main man of the team. He has been a little bit of problem for the unit, I guess. The team needs the unit needs a chemistry or a team mentality. But yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's recent non-footballing life or footballing life hasn't been that great, and it obviously is impacting his game right now. And we are clearly seeing that on the pitch. He has not been able to deliver at all in the group stage. And obviously Santos benched him in the last game, and we have seen the result and the impacts of the substitute of Cristiano Ronaldo. It's obvious. I would say that he's gonna be benched again. But yeah, for the betterment of the team, I would say it's the necessity right now to keep him out of the starting 11 right now. It would be better for the team to go far, to aim for the trophy, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it. I was talking about it with the other presenters earlier. There is pretty much no reason for Santos to change the team they used against Switzerland for Morocco, is there? I think Gonzalo Ramos up front.
Yeah.
Maybe even keeping Dallo and Rafael on as fullbacks instead of having Cancelo in there. Do you think Santos should make any changes for the Morocco game?
No, I would say he should not make any change for the Morocco game, because the new man, the Ramos, has had his confidence level like at the highest right now. He has boosted his confidence level so much right now, because scoring a hat-trick in the World Cup debut, it's such a dream for any football player out there, and keeping the player like him, the raging player like him out of the 11 right now would be a silly move. And yeah, so there's definitely no chance in the changing the starting 11 against the Moroccan game. But yeah, obviously we have seen Morocco not conceding a single goal from the opposition so far. They have just only conceded a goal, which is own goal. So yeah, it would be a miracle if Portugal manages to score at least two goals against the Moroccan side, and it would be only possible if Fernando Santos goes with the same team which he had against the Switzerland.
Do you think Portugal will be the team to knock out this very overachieving but brilliant Moroccan side? I mean, that Morocco have managed to beat Belgium and Spain, but do you think Portugal will be the ones to knock Morocco out?
Yeah, because Spain was a very brilliant team, but what Spain lacked was a brilliant attacker or a brilliant number 9, and exactly the same thing which Belgium was lacking of. The number 9 position, the striker position, was the main concerns for both of the teams which Morocco faced. And here in Portugal right now, the most confident man in the team right now is the number 9 or the striker, which is Ramos, the man who played the first World Cup game against Switzerland. Looking at the weaknesses of Spain and Belgium side, it's exactly the opposite in the Portugal team right now. So I guess it's gonna be a test for Moroccan side this time. There are very little chances of them for not conceding a goal from an opposition. Yeah.
I think maybe Portugal's depth has to be. So I think Portugal has a lot of depth. They probably have some of the best depth in the World Cup.
Yeah,
I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, the likes of absolutely. The amount of depth Portugal has right now is not comparable to any other team in the world, any other national team in the world. Yeah, I would say the impact Rafael Leo also makes after coming on as a sub. We have seen him coming off from the bench and making an instant impact. So there are players available who are making an instant impact from the bench. So yeah, we cannot deny the fact that Portugal has got a lot of depth in the squad. Yeah. I would agree that.
100%. So, how far do you eventually think Portugal will make it in the competition? Do you think, I mean, in the semi-finals, they will face either England or France? So, do you think they beat either of them and eventually get to the final?
I would say there are. I would not say Portugal has a bigger chance from England or France, but I would also not say that England or France has got bigger chances than Portugal. So it's a 50-50 situation right now. But we have absolutely seen in the past, like I would like to go back in 2016, where France was the most dominating national side in the world football, and we have seen Portugal beating them in the final of Euro Championships, despite having a weaker side. And we absolutely also cannot deny the fact that football is such a game that whenever it goes at the biggest stage, like the semi-finals or finals of the game, anything can happen, anything can take place in the game. So yeah, we cannot deny the chances of Portugal making it into the final, beating France or England in the semis.
Definitely. Okay, so what would your score prediction be for the Portugal-Morocco game?
Looking at the both of these teams' performances in the competition so far, I would say that Portugal is gonna win by 2-1. I guess that would be my prediction for the game. Yeah.
Good prediction. Okay, finally, so obviously you've been doing a lot of on the whistle reporting. Would you like to like shout out what you've done, like talk about what you've done?
This on the visual reporting thing was really new for me. I have been not doing that for long, I guess. I was introduced to this thing for like a month ago, I would say, when I started this master's course in the university. And I would say that it's definitely an interesting thing to do, because we have to make a report or file a report within the 5 minutes of the final whistle. So if anything happens between the dying minutes of the game, we're gonna have to erase everything off and write a new article in 5 minutes and submit it or publish it on the website. So it's obviously fun, but it's also a challenging task, I would say. And I've been covering Portugal games, and I would say that the impacts that Rafaelio has been making in the game or in the competition so far has been very challenging for me. The Portugal team has been attacking or very much intensely playing in the dying minutes of the game, and they are scoring a lot of goals in the dying minutes of the game if we are having a look at the goals. So yeah, it's also fun, but yeah, it's very much of a challenging task, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
So some of Charu's work, it has been shared on the Podcast De Portugal's Twitter, and also make sure to check out Overtime online. So thank you very much, Charu, for joining us today.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap. Hopefully, Portugal, I think they will probably go into the semis. But yeah, make sure to subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah, and give us a follow on Twitter. In a bit, lads and ladies.